Whoa, it's a beautiful day to do these reactions, man. Listen, like it before you light it, hit the sub before you hit the bud, join the team before you hit the green, and it's Monday. I know y'all got a fresh pack of hypes, man. I need all that, bro. And if y'all see somebody else doing this, begging for hypes, they probably stole it from me, dog. Who doing that with the soundboard, bro? That's a that boy Will creation. Let's be real, man. Guys, mechanics are quitting in 2026. This is wild. Let's get into this.
As a mechanic, Monday to Friday, you bust your butt off, then the weekend comes. So what happens on the weekend? A lot of us need an entire day just to recover from the week. And a lot of people will not understand this. This is just something tradespeople will understand. For people who don't know, like when your husband or something comes home and they sit on the couch and they're staring into oblivion, it's because they're burnt. Mechanics, tradesmen, we all burn out. And you might not have the energy to shower or talk or do anything.
I don't know. I need that shower, partner.
It accumulates. So by the time the weekend comes, you need an entire day just to reset and recover. And for a lot of us, that isn't even an option, especially if you have a family, your kids, you have things to take care of, house chores. It's tough. It is very demanding on I'll say mostly men, because most of us are trades workers. So it takes.
I've never seen a woman mechanic ever in life.
When I was in automotive, my mind and my body was fried. Now that I'm in heavy equipment, it's just my body's fried. So physically, it takes me a day to recover. Probably not going to get easier as the older I get. And young people right now, like I can see it. The guys who are like 19, 20, 22, they're always out partying and having a good time. I'm like, it's going to catch up to you. So,
oh yeah, bro. As soon as like age 28, 29, 30 come around, you've been lifting transmissions, engines, and you know what I'm saying, heavy shit, crawling into tight confined crawl spaces, and you done cut your hands, spent thousands of dollars on tools, and got treated crazy at the dealership, man. Listen, bro, you're gonna be burned out. I promise you.
Alright guys, loading up on my stuff. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm really upset about with the Jaguar dealership that I'm at.
Talk to me.
Turns out the exotic cars were not as profitable as I thought they would be. And that's okay. It's fine. So I'm going to go back to one of the brands that I know that I can make money at, and I got a really good offer. I'm going to go ahead and just pursue that because I've decided that this year is going to be about money. I'm not going to settle for anything less. And if I get anything less, then I'm leaving. So this is what we're doing. I will post a Toolbox Friday pick tomorrow, or a video, we'll see. And maybe go into depth a little bit more about the circumstances. But until then, I'll talk to you later.
Hey, bro, listen, man, as a grown-ass man, it's always been about the bread, partner. Boy, ask any of my partners, man. I'm quick to say no, man, because if I say yes to you, I just told my financial livelihood no. Back in the day, you know, I was like, I'm going to go out and put out these We Buy Houses signs at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to put 100 of them out while y'all out there partying and shit. But guess what, dude? Y'all wasn't saying I was crazy when I was getting the $20,000 assignment fee checks, 10,000, 5,000, 7,000. Y'all want to go club? I was putting them signs out. You know what I'm saying? I was making phone calls. Your wife about to leave you? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Your car is about to get repossessed? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. I'm going to work, bro. It's about the bread, man. But I feel him, though. I feel him. Some of y'all took jobs because you like the people you work with. Fuck them people. I want that money.
I hate being a mechanic, and that's exactly why I'm getting out this shit. Now, at first, I thought this mechanic shit was sweet. Don't get me wrong. It was so fun. I loved working on cars, and I still do. I literally got a whole project right here. But I got tired of dealing with all the bullshit. The thing about being a mechanic, especially a repair mechanic, is you're nonstop clocking in the straight bullshit, dealing with straight issues. You're literally a car doctor. You're getting paid to fix a car. So guess what? You're getting paid to fix problems. You're damn near a fucking therapist at the same time. Like, imagine if you and your bitch was just straight having problems all the time. You would not enjoy that shit, right? That's exactly what it feels like being a mechanic. And on top of that, you gotta learn every fucking trade. It seems like you gotta learn some plumbing skills, because you gotta deal with cooling systems. You gotta be damn near a fucking electrician, because all this shit is running on sensors and electricity now. And then you have to know how to weld. You have to know how to do damn near everything if you want to fix this car. Right now, I'm dealing with this truck. It's straight bullshit. I hate these fucking problems. Sometimes I hate being a mechanic, so we're just gonna find something else to do. Good thing I'm still in school, in college, so you know what? It's time to hang this shit up.
Yeah, bro. Hey, man, but you know one thing, dog? If I was to be a mechanic, bro, there is no way I would work at like a dealership or anything like that. I would have to set my own prices. I would have to set my own schedule and all that kind of stuff, man. You know, it's just like what that boy Ali Sadiq said. He a comedian. He was like, bro, we don't hope, we hustle. That's what his daddy told him. Anything you can do for somebody else, you can do for yourself. And I always thought like that. I said, man, if I'm going to work in a restaurant and I'm going to be slinging chicken sandwiches and I'm getting a little small piece of the pie, why I just can't go set up my own fryer, word of mouth, fire chicken sandwich, sell it for like $10, and I take all the bread. That's how I always think. So with the same thing, if I was a plumber, I would not be working for Roto-Rooter. I would go and get my own shit started. If I was a mechanic, I'm gonna be a shade tree mechanic and be in the hood in front of my house fixing people's cars. Look, find your little small space right there. Look, man, yeah, man, it'll fit. Just leave the key in there and I'm gonna call you when it's ready. I'm not working for nobody else, dog, if I got skills like this.
Why is there a shortage of technicians at Ford dealerships? I asked and you guys delivered. So this is 5 reasons why technicians are leaving the dealerships all around the country. All right, starting off strong, number 5. So the cost of tools and training for younger technicians to start in the industry. I did see this a lot when I was working at the shops that I had been at. When you're starting off, you have to buy yourself a toolbox. You have to buy yourself all the tools. You got to know all the things in order to even get that job.
That's
so
crazy. Starting
off, you can already be, up to $50K in debt, depending on how far you get yourself into it. If you're lucky like me, when I started off where I was, it was based on connections and I've had previous experience working on vehicles. But if you don't have that and you're starting from the ground up, you have to support yourself.
Man, shout out to her. Didn't I just literally say I never seen a female mechanic a day in my life? And look, lo and behold, one right in front of us working on cars.
In order to get yourself that job that typically isn't the highest paying. All right, number 4, vehicle complexity and poor design. So I noticed this when I was working at the auto parts stores, that our engineers are not being our friends when it's coming to actually working on broken vehicles. When I was working at the parts stores, we noticed a trend that there were certain things that if you tried to work on a newer vehicle, you may have to recalibrate something, or it was just almost entirely like a waste of your time to try to do because it was removing so much to do one thing. So they design them in a way that they want you to take these cars to the dealership so that you're paying them to do the work for you. And in turn, the technicians that are getting handed this work, they don't want it because it's way more complex and way more difficult than it would have been if you were working on something 20 or 30 years older, if that makes sense.
Real talk. So, dog, when them older men be like, man, y'all know how to work on cars? Pop. Listen, bro. Back in the day, all you needed was a screwdriver and a wrench to fix your little Thunderbird. Nowadays, bro, you need a computer that got a computer to fix these damn cars. You remove one bolt, the whole electrical system shut down, bro. These are not the same cars, man. You know what I'm saying? I know back in the 1950s, shit was easy to fix and all that, man. This is 2026. Everything got a computer. The computers got computers. Come on, man.
Sense. So it's the work itself doesn't feel worth it to them when they make it too complex to even do in the first place. All right, reason number 3. I definitely understand this one. So feeling undervalued and disrespected. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I don't work in the automotive industry anymore. For my own sakes, being a 5'2" woman in a male-led industry, it can be very hard to, get your foot out the door and feel like you're valued. And I definitely understand that, but I definitely saw disrespect towards a lot of younger people, especially. They get talked down to. If they spit out an idea, it's typically the first idea that they're going to shove under the rug and say they do something right, or they diagnose something correctly. They typically don't get the credit for it, and they don't feel like they're part of the team. They feel like they have to claw their way to earn respect. And I understand that respect is sometimes earned and not given, but if you haven't done anything to undermine that, I don't understand why are we treating treating the young kids like crap. Because if you treat them like crap, they're only going to take it so many times before they're out going to go find another trade to do. So.
Say, bro, that's one thing I don't miss about working, bro. Like, when I was at work, bro, all the older people, not even necessarily older, people with higher seniority, they've been at the company longer, bro. They be trying to boy you in there like, first of all, I'm a grown-ass man. I ain't letting niggas play with me in school, in the streets, at a club, and you think a place where we work, you got a button-down shirt on. You think I'm scared of you? Brother, I done been around dudes that's on the run from the police actively. Well, you ain't see me, I ain't see you. I ain't see you, brother. What are we even talking about? Those type of niggas. And you think I'm finna let Poindexter play with me at this job? Come on, bro. I'm serious, dog. I'm not a street dude, but, you know, in New Orleans, everybody right next to the sidewalk right there. So I know people, bro. I'm not letting Stewart play with me at work, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Now, you gonna train me, or you gonna teach me how to do this shit, or I'm gonna have to go upside your head? It's either way.
All right, number 2, flat rates and low pay. So this was a huge one that I saw in the comments, and luckily I didn't have to deal with this. The only time I've ever worked at shops, I was on hourly. But when you're on a flat rate basis, especially when it's low paying, you only make a certain amount of money for the work that you do.
Hell no, not
and
going.
Say you're on commission, if there's no work to do, you don't get paid.
No, indeed.
So I saw a couple guys leave the shops because when it got too slow during winter time, they had to go. They needed to make money, and there was no money to be made at the shops. And on top of that, you know, if you're not making much for this crappy work that you're doing at low rates, you're gonna go find a dealership or a shop that's gonna pay you more.
Duh.
Simple as that. And kind of tying back with the last topic we were talking about, stop giving pizza parties and start giving bonuses. People,
bro, niggas can go buy their own Little Caesars hot and ready. Like, yeah, give the bonuses, man. Real talk.
Need money, not pizza. And reason number 1 that I saw the most in my comments, tying back to the last topic, is warranty work. So along with the low paying rates and, you know, flat pay, you are also dealing with warranty work, especially from dealerships. So they tell the customer you have a warranty on this for this long, and the techs will repair that and that if something were to go awry. And they get this amount of money to do that warranty work and say, we're going to warranty out your starter. And so the dealership takes your car, they give it to the techs and say, this is a warranty. So you only have 2 hours to do this job. This is the amount of money you're making for this job, and it's not much. Say that starter is stuck or takes a million, you have to take off a million things to even get to it, and you have now gone past that 2 hour mark, and you're now working on this starter for 5-6 hours. You're still only making that amount of money that they're paying you for that 2 hour job that turned out to be a nightmare. And in my opinion, if you see a lot of those working in a dealership, I'd be out so fast. Like, I don't blame you guys. So I am going to be tagging Ford, GMC, Dodge, because you guys made it well aware to me that it's not just a sole dealership issue or a sole company issue. This is an issue across the entire automotive industry right now. And, you know, they got to learn that even though technology is getting better, robots cannot replace mechanics. So, you know.
Now, look, remember when she was talking about at the end of the video how you could be doing a job and it's supposed to be easy, but then it could turn into like this long ass job, but you don't get paid more because you spent more time on it. So effectively you just work 2-3 times as hard just to make the same amount of money, which actually reduces your hourly rate if you think about it. And the reason why I say that is, let's say you're a mechanic and you're supposed to charge $100 for like a 4-hour job, but that job turns into an 8-hour job. So if you would have got it done in the 4-hour window, what is that? $25 an hour. But because it took you 8 hours, that reduces how much you made per hour to 12.5. Does that make sense? So yeah, bro, think about it like that.
What an absolute day, man. With a 2011 Toyota Corolla right here. All I really came out to do was an alternator. But what happened with the alternator is that the bolt that crosses through the bottom bracket there, coming off the block, the nut held the bolt, and it held it in such a way that the bolt ended up snapping. Now it snapped just enough to where it crossed into the bracket here, and I could not pull the alternator up and out. So I ended up having to grind off a little bit of the ear here, and then I jimmied in a pry bar and I hammered it off. And what ended up happening was that the end of the bracket, or the alternator, broke off. That's what I needed, because this was actually, I think it's just this little bit. There could have been another little chunk here, but it was just enough that it was holding on to that bracket and it wouldn't let the alternator, like I said, come up and out. So whatever, long story short, I got the alternator and the belt on, turned the car on, and then what do we see? I see coolant leaking from this area. And where's the leak from, you might ask? Well, of course, the nipple here broke. I broke it somehow. And I said, all right, great. There's no way to fix this. I got to replace it. So the alternator job turned into a free radiator job. And that's not the best part.
That's tough.
AutoZone, they brought me the part, but they brought me the incorrect part.
Oh, Lord.
And as he was here, he said, hey, by the way, be careful. There is a small, what's it called? Not a fitting, but a bracket here. So you got this guy. And this guy sits right here. And he said, be careful with that nipple because it tends to break. I said, yeah, sure. It's not going to break. Don't worry.
It broke on him, watch.
And it did not break on me until I grabbed the hose that it was connected to and I bent it back this way and it just snapped off. So now we're in it for an entire radiator. This stupid bracket, I forget what this is called, pipe adapter or whatever. And we're just sitting here, we're waiting.
Man,
we're waiting. So whatever I'm making out in this job, I'm pretty much
MVPs.
spending it on parts to get her back up and running. And I think I might just break even on this job, if not take a little bit of a loss. But what a day, man, what a day.
You still gotta fix it.
The only real upside to all this, but I'm trying to stay real positive about it, is that I've handed out more business cards while standing here working on this one car than I have in the past 2 to 3 weeks. So maybe I'll get a lot of service calls out of being here, stuck here. But I'm in a town with a lot of foot traffic, it seems, and I'm actually parked out in front of a Popeyes. So there's also a lot of that.
Yeah, bro, word of mouth, man. That's a good way. I'd rather be working like he doing than working for a dealership when they taking all the bread, dog. Trust me, man. They charging the customer an arm and a leg, right? And they might just give you a little finger off the arm. Or they might give you a little toe off the leg. You know what I'm saying, bro? You not making the real money if you the mechanic at Ford. Ford is making the real money. But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you're a mechanic, let me know your experiences in the comments, man. And other than that,
hype me up. Hype me up.